Hello, I'm Donald Leggett, and welcome to the latest London South East CEO interview. I'm joined today by Brodie Good, CEO and Technical Director at AIM-listed Alien Metals, the silver and iron ore exploration and development company. Alien has just updated the market on its silver projects in Western Australia and Zacatecas State in Mexico. And the maiden iron ore drilling program has begun in Western Australia. Welcome, Bill. Thanks for joining us for this operational update today.
Donald, great to be here, and good to be able to update everybody about Alien and what we're doing.
Zacatecas State, is that how you pronounce it?
Zacatecas is how I pronounce it. I suspect most locals would cringe, but Zacatecas normally is how
it's probably a bit closer than me anyway. All right, so quickly in, for the uninitiated, tell us what Alien Metals do at an overview level, and then we'll get into the detailed questions in a moment or two.
Well, Alien Metals, we are an explorer. We're a resource in the resource sector, looking at good, solid commodities and projects to take up the value curve, pick them up and at a good, positive deals, and add value, and either spin them out to bigger brothers or move them ourselves to the next stage.
So that's you specialize in silver, you specialize in iron ore, and just talk us a little bit more through that strategy as to how you see it working out.
Well, Alien sort of at its creation already had the silver assets and also a copper gold asset in Mexico. That was sort of the core of the company in its sort of infancy, and we've added the Elizabeth Hill project, essentially the historic silver mine in Western Australia, and also we saw great opportunity in the iron ore assets that we also now have 51% that we acquired last year as well. So, but stable, excellent commodities, excellent jurisdictions, and with the knowledge and the teams available in both those jurisdictions to take these projects forward.
And just recently, you put out an RNS on Elizabeth Hill, which you mentioned there. Elizabeth Hill's in Western Australia. As I understand it, it's an old silver mine, which is a JORC resource, and you're actually bringing it back to life. So how about you tell us more about Elizabeth Hill?
Well, Elizabeth Hill is quite a unique mine in terms of, the head grade was over 2,000 grams a ton. I mean, it's incredible numbers. And one of the unique features of the mine as well, of the deposit, was this plethora of nuggets, almost pure silver nuggets, in a variety of shapes, forms, and sizes. The largest extracted in around 2000 being over 140 kilograms, which is incredible, mineral specimen, let alone as a valuable item. And its early resource was over 4 million ounces. The reporting is that 1.2 million ounces were actually extracted over the just under 2 years of its mine life from underground, couple of levels underground, and then at a silver price of $4, with other issues that came to play, the mine was suddenly shut down. So 20 years ago, just sort of shut down and walked away. And we've again had a great opportunity to pick this up, which we have 100% as well owned, and we're now looking at restoring the underground working, so getting back down to really understand and update the resource that remains, and also the potential that we feel exists both in the existing ore body and undiscovered repeat systems. We're pretty confident exist in the mining lease.
Very interesting. Okay, that sounds like a cracking project. You've got two more silver projects in Zacatecas State in Mexico. So talk those through for us. Tell us a little bit more about those.
Yeah, I mean, these are, Zacatecas state in Mexico, to the sort of unfamiliar, is the biggest silver producing state of Mexico. And Mexico is the biggest silver producing country by a long way globally, and has been for many, many years. And what we have is two very classical epithermal, narrow vein, but incredibly high grade deposits that are basically sitting on two blocks of ground, one very close to Zacatecas city itself, and actually sort of a long strike from Endeavour Silver's El Compás current underground mine. And our second project is San Celso, about 35 kilometers from Zacatecas. But again, both of them have historic sort of colonial time underground mines. Work we've done and Alien's done in the past on sampling and mapping has produced incredible results. I mean, grades up to 1,000, 1,200 grams a ton, or material sort of left at surface, which potentially from the old days was material that couldn't be processed in 100 years ago for extraction. They couldn't extract the silver, whereas today such material produces those sort of grades. Very exciting, and we're pushing hard to get our drilling permits for both of those to do maiden drilling to really start proving up the potential of both of them as extremely economic projects.
Okay, let's cut to the chase. Funding. To what extent are all your silver projects funded?
We've been very fortunate. We've had some great investors over the last probably the last year. So we're currently well capitalized ourselves to be able to fund the maiden drilling, at least the maiden drilling on both those projects in Mexico. And while we're waiting for final costs and sort of indications of planning for the Elizabeth Hill, for both re-accessing the underground workings and other work necessary for exploration to develop that project. We have the funds in place at the moment, probably for the next 12 months, because I'd like to think we're careful with our funds. We channel as much as possible into the ground, but at a sensible pace. So we do a program of work. We look at the results, we look at the geology, we look at everything, the marketplace, and then depending on that outcome, go to the next phase.
Okay, so you do some rigorous analysis before moving on.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's important. We don't have the luxury of having over deep pockets, and I think it's sensible that we have several projects that are all require work, and we're working on all of them at a steady pace, and each time adding value. And I think the silver at the moment, obviously with the recent chatter in the markets and the recent rise in the silver price, what I think is significant for our projects is they are silver. Fundamentally, they are silver resources, and they have sundry associated low-level gold, lead, zinc, copper, but the core commodity is silver, which is also we feel a great strength with the silver market, with the future of silver as well.
So you touched on it there, Bill. The markets are excited about the potential for a rise in the silver price. So where do you see that potential? Do you agree with that potential? Do you think the silver price will rise? And if so, to what extent does it benefit alien metals? Does it feed into alien metals? Because you're not selling silver into the market currently.
No, we're not. But I think silver, if you read across the board, and not just the last few days, but the last few months, silver's very much been the sort of forgotten commodity in some ways, and actually silver's a significant metal for photo cells and for the new development of renewable energy. And I know there is demand increasing, as there is for copper, for all these technologies. And we're very comfortable that silver is the right commodity to be in, that it's going to continue to add or stabilize in value. And as I was saying, what we have in terms of projects, potentially we have some excellent economic projects to take forward, to develop.
Fantastic. Okay, let's talk iron ore. You have a maiden drilling program taking place in the Hamersley region of Western Australia, which, as even I know, is famous for its iron ore. We learn about the Hamersleys in geography when I was a lad, and you've got 5 priority targets announced there. So talk us through those. Put those in context for us.
Well, iron ore again is an incredible commodity at the moment. The prices for iron ore, especially the high grade material, is I think the last time I looked, it was over $170 a ton. And remember, high grade material such as this DSO direct shipping ore is basically you dig it out of the ground, you chuck it in the back of a train or a truck, you take it to the port, and off it goes. There's no processing. It's a very simple, straightforward process, and at even $170 a ton, incredibly economic. So,
would you expect to sell that direct to China?
Well, I mean, to be honest, we haven't got that far, but obviously at the moment, China's the sort of the hungry mouth that's absorbing as much as it can. So, and obviously coming out of the Pilbara and the Hamersley, that's one of the best quality iron ore that China wants. So, yeah, at some stage, but for us, we've got 5 sort of prospects within the one tenement, the Brockman tenement. But let's not forget that we have a second tenement to the west. The Hancock tenement is where we're drilling. The Brockman tenement to the west, which also has, we believe, drill-ready targets. We're just finalising our drill permitting there. So we feel there's great potential. It's very early stages. I mean, first maiden drilling on any project is always very exciting, and so that's ongoing. We're really
tricky because at that point you don't actually know so much about the geology, whereas that's the whole point of drilling.
Well, no, I'd say you have as good an understanding as you can from the regional geology, from geologists going over the ground, mapping, seeing structures, seeing trends. But absolutely, the drilling really adds that extra level of knowledge and understanding, and of course starts giving us idea of thicknesses, grades, any anomalies that we're seeing in certain areas.
So what are the next steps, the costs, the timeline for Pillsbury and Brockman?
Well, I mean, the next steps, we carry on. We finish this current program, which hopefully in the next couple of weeks will be finished. As I said earlier, we step back, we review all the results, we interpret everything, we put our heads together. Got a great team in Australia who are really iron ore focused geologists and technical people. So we put our heads together, look at what we've got, and then say, right, now what do we need? What's the next phase of work? In the meantime, as I said, hopefully we'll get our permit through for the Brockman project, and once we're in a position to move on that, we will then probably again do a maiden drilling program there, possibly similar size, maybe 2,000, 3,000 meters. That's yet to be finalized. As I say, we are fortunate we do have the funds for these maiden programs at the moment, and then go see what the next phase is, depending on options open to us.
Okay, final question. What kind of news flow can we expect from Alien over the next few months? So what are the milestone announcements we should be looking out for?
Well, obviously, as I've mentioned, we're sort of chomping at the bit to drill do our maiden drilling in Mexico on our silver. So I'd love to be able to say in the next 2-3 months we will have that being done or finished and reporting on sort of results and moving forward on those. Let's not forget Capstone in working on the copper project, our earning partners in Mexico, and they're very soon, from my understanding, going to be doing maiden drilling there as well. So that hopefully will be some excellent news coming through. Our iron ore, as we just said, once we finish the work, there's still a turnaround period of time, but there'll be results, being announced and, great big update for those. And then for Elizabeth Hill, as I say, we're looking at doing some surface trenching. We're currently completing the sort of regional aeromagnetic survey and interpretation. That I'm hoping will give us both new targets and consolidate existing targets on that larger holding we have. So lots, and then we're always talking and to other parties about other projects to add into the portfolio, and talking to possible parties who might want to earn in to our existing projects. So I'd like to say there'll be plenty of good, positive news for everybody, and all the projects are, we add value to them, we move them forward, keeping everyone, keeping our investors happy, and well, from a geological and exploration point of view, exciting times ahead.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Bill Brodie Good, CEO at Alien Metals. Let me tell you, they're one of the most talked about small cap stocks on the London South East bulletin boards, with over 3,000 posts last month. So please keep up the good work. Follow us on Twitter at London South East. Thinking about subscribing to our YouTube channel for interview alerts to interviews like this one. And finally, thank you for watching and stay safe.